Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. We're back with yet another Fast Mover today. My name is Alex Dworkin and I'm a managing partner at 40 Capital. We specialize in a very unique mathematical approach to the stock market where we calculate the market and individual stocks in multidimensional space. And when we do, essentially perfect order emerges. Now, on top of that, we've developed a number of very powerful timing tools. And when we put it all together, we're basically able to tell what the overall stock market or individual stocks will do going forward in both price and time and on multiple time frames. I personally believe our work is nearly identical to what Jim Simmons was able to accomplish at Renaissance Technologies. So our firm's goal is very simple. We attempt to identify stocks that will increase in value 2x, 5x, 10x going forward and do it in the fastest time possible. So in essence, we're looking for the next NVIDIA, Apple, Bitcoin, Tesla, Microsoft, and so on. And we're able to do that with the help of our very powerful software that's able to scan the entire S&P 500, do a number of multidimensional calculations as well as timing calculations, and give us an output where any particular stock will, for example, bottom. I'll give you an example of that today in terms of one of our fast movers, the new one. And then we subsequently can project where that stock is going to increase in both time and price going forward. And based on that, we're able to identify those stocks that will appreciate quite significantly going well over the next 12, 24, 36 months. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a new fast mover that we found over the last couple of weeks. And just to give you a quick breakdown of what a fast mover is. Fast mover is a stock that will increase or decrease in value, typically 50% or more within a relatively short period of time of 12 months or less. So the triangles you see at the top and the bottom of the chart, particularly if you're new to our channel, is very simplistic representation of very complex mathematical concept. And what we found over the years is that there are a number of cycle composites, we call them cycle composites, running in the stock market or individual stocks at any given time. I typically give this as an example, but for example, on the Dow Jones, we have two bottom composites and two top composites. And what we found is that the bottom composites are responsible for the bottoms and the top composites are responsible for the tops in individual stocks or the overall stock market. And actually, when we put them together, both up and downs and multiples of them, we can very closely replicate what happens in a two-dimensional time and price chart. So what we found in terms of the fast movers is that when there's a short period of time, let's say 12 months or less, between a major top, a cyclical top, and a major cyclical bottom, or vice versa, it is during that period of time when very fast and powerful directional moves either to the downside or to the upside happen. Okay, so what we're looking for is the chart of oil, crude light, and this is a perfect illustration of what I'm trying to convey here. So we had a major top here, and then a couple of months later we had a major bottom here, and between these 2 points of force the commodity moved incredibly fast to the downside. We see somewhat a similar presentation here, and we have from mid-cycle bottom to mid-cycle top. This chart needs to be adjusted a little bit in time, but we see a very similar move from the bottom to the top right here. So what is our next fast mover? So let me minimize this. And what we're looking at is BFB, which is Brown-Forman B shares. You can be as well A shares. We just found it easier to analyze this. So you see the same representation here, cycle composites at the bottom, and you can see cycle composites at the top, and you can very clearly see that they've been very successful in identifying both the tops and the bottoms. So we have a very powerful software behind all of this that's doing all of these calculations. The output is for our internal use, not necessarily developed for consumers, but basically this is a very simplistic, once again, representation of a very complex set of mathematical calculations behind the scenes. So what we're looking at here is we're looking for an important bottom that is arriving. If we click on this triangle, it arrives according to our software. There's a certain margin of error associated with this, but according to our software, it arrives on 29th of October of this year. Typically, depending on the length of the cycles, I'd like to say that there's a plus or minus 1 month, plus or minus 1 to 2 months, I should say, margin of error associated with this particular bottom. So it will arrive either a little bit before or a little bit after. And once this bottom is reached, our calculations suggest that this stock will go up into March of 2027, a little bit more than a year and a half. But I will show you what our price objectives are, and you will see why this opportunity is very attractive. So the lines you see on the chart are a different timing tool, and we call them cycle clusters. Okay, so each line represents a certain period of time, and if we click on, nothing's going to happen in this particular situation because we're looking at clusters, not the individual cycles. But basically, the difference between them is once again, our software has the ability to analyze the stock going all the way back. It then identifies our proprietary cycles and it projects them into the future. And what we found over the years is that when an individual cycle arrives, it might not be very important, but when there's a cluster of cycles arriving on any particular day, for example, or within a week, particularly if those cycles are very powerful, rest assured we're going to have an important turning point at that juncture. So the cycle composites get us into the neighborhood, and cycle clusters basically give us the answer of where the exact date of this particular bottom is expected to be. Okay, so we do have a 30-day free trial associated. I'm not going to go into specific of the exact date of when that's going to occur. We do have a free trial associated with our service, no credit cards, no strings. If you're interested in those exact dates, please sign up or request a free trial. The link's going to be in the description of the video, and you can have access to both the exact time price projections for the bottom and then subsequently time price projections for the top. Okay, so with that said, just know that this very important bottom is coming. So the question becomes, once the bottom arrives, it's expected to surge higher, much higher into this top in March of 2027. So the question becomes, where's the bottom and where's the top? And that's where our software truly, there's nothing close to what we have. Let me just put it that way. So our projections are approximately into this area. So once again, I'm not being very specific of exactly where the bottom is expected to be. You can guess within a few dollars according to this particular chart. But once again, if you'd like to see the exact projection and trading parameters for this particular stock, I do encourage you to request a free trial. So we're going to bottom around 20 bucks a share, as you can see, at that time junction that we just discussed. And once that bottom is in, this stock is expected to increase at least into this area. As you can see, it is 111 to 105, or this one 115 to 105. So there, at least from 20 bucks to this, as you can very well imagine, that's a 400% increase within a 12 to 15 month period of time. I would take that in my book. That's a really good return on investment. Now, pay attention to this particular region. In our work, when it's darker green, it indicates that there's a high probability that the stock goes here as opposed to here. So if it does goes there, then it is 137 to $149 a share. As you can see, a much more profitable endeavor of over 500%. If our mathematical work and calculations are correct, then this stock is going to bottom right here, and it's going to surge into this area, and most likely into this area. So once again, just going to mention it one more time. We do have the exact projections from both the bottom and the top in both time and price. If you're interested to see them, I do encourage you to request a free trial. Let's see what else. So that's it for the stock. We'll be back on another update tomorrow. We're going to be looking at gold and JP Morgan this week, and probably yet another fast mover, or most likely one of our targeting analysis. One more thing I wanted to mention is that don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And we had a very successful presentation on Friday, webinar. We're going to have another one in 2 weeks. I believe it's September 5th. Space is limited to 10 people only, so if you do want to check it out, I do encourage you to register as quickly as possible. Once again, the link in the description of the video to that registration as well. The biggest selling point of checking out our webinar is gaining the ability to see what the overall stock market is going to do going forward. We typically shy away from discussing it in this forum because that's our bread and butter, but if you are willing to attend our webinar, you're going to be able to see the analysis of where the stock market is today and where it's going in the future as on an overall basis. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll be back with yet another update tomorrow. Bye-bye.